Hello everybody, John 12 back here again with another video, and today I bring you some more comic book movie news. It's been a pretty decent while since I've done any movie news for any type of comic book characters movie, but today we got some interesting Batman v Superman stuff, not to mention some Green Lantern stuff, and instead of making two separate videos for the two characters, I decided just to mash them up into one. And of course, you guessed it, it's of course talking about the first ever look at Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor for Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, and of course there's some Tyrese Gibson Green Lantern stuff that he's still trying to promote on Instagram or Twitter or whatever the fuck. Nevertheless, let's start off with the Lex Luthor stuff. Obviously, the biggest thing that everyone can't stop talking about, whether or not it's going to be good or have, you know, if he's going to give it justice, no pun intended. Of course, Gal Gadot and Jesse Eisenberg are like the two biggest like pink elephants in the room that everyone can't stop thinking like, what's the purpose of having them in this movie? And and how good can they really be? Is Jesse Eisenberg going to be a good Lex Luthor? Is he going to be just like the fucking Social Network done again? How good is he going to be? And will he be bald? Like, there were so many people that photoshopped Jesse Eisenberg as him being bald for Lex Luthor, and now we actually officially have a legitimate bald Jesse Eisenberg looking somewhat intimidating, all black and white like usual fucking DC compo characters, but nevertheless, I think it looks good. I mean, granted, Lex Luthor doesn't really change his look that often. I mean, other than the fact that he has a gigantic kryptonite kind of suit, not to mention mech suit, I mean, and on top of that, you know, there's multiple other variations where he's, you know, a little bit more buffer, he's a little stronger, physicality-wise, even though it doesn't really matter because I remember a lot of people who were bitching about that. It's like, Lex Luthor needs to be buff like the animated series and shit. It's like, no, he really doesn't. I mean, because no matter how strong Lex Luthor gets, no matter how, like, let's say for the sake of the argument, like Jesse Eisenberg was gonna hit the gym with like Zack Snyder or some shit and get buff, it wouldn't really matter because on top of all that, Superman's stronger than him. There's no way Lex Luthor could ever beat, you know, Superman in a fist fight. So that's why I always found it funny that everybody was like, oh, he needs to be like the animated series, or he needs to be like he is in the comics where he's like buff and he's fucking has a mech suit and shit. Don't get me wrong, I want to see that mech suit. That would be kind of fucking awesome. But Jesse Eisenberg, as he is physicality-wise, doesn't really bother me. And based off this picture, he looks intimidating. He looks like a badass. He's obviously bald, no photoshopped. So I'm okay with it. Jesse Eisenberg, the first ever look as him and Lex Luthor, fucking nice. Pretty cool. He's not really the biggest thing I'm waiting to see in the movie. Obviously, the number two things I really want to see out of this movie is A, Superman, B, Batman, and C, seeing them fight. That's the only fucking thing I really care about when it comes to Dawn of Justice. And of course, on top of all that, seeing the dawn of the Justice League, which of course, hence the title. Nevertheless, let's move off of that and get into some Green Lantern stuff. Of course, way back in the last year or what have you, or whatever the fuck, a few months ago, I don't even remember. I made videos on it. Nevertheless, Tyrese Gibson really wanted to be Green Lantern. There was, of course, tons of photoshopped images of Tyrese Gibson as Green Lantern on the internet, and he was posting it on his Instagram and stuff, and I guess he was, like, talking to his, like, co-host on Fast and Furious or whatever, like, hey, fucking, you know, fucking Dwayne Johnson or motherfucking Vin Diesel, and see, like, how they fucking got to be the comic book characters that they are now, like, you know, fucking Vin Diesel is Groot, and fucking Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam, who seems to be allegedly more important than Shazam at this point, but nevertheless, that's a whole nother topic. And on top of all this, he's trying to be Green Lantern, and of course he posted tons of photos on Instagram and Twitter or whatever, showing him as Green Lantern, and then he showed another image of him at Warner Brothers lot, trying to get some kind of, you know, overall meeting with the Warner Brothers heads to be like, hey, I should be Green Lantern. And now he's apparently posted several new images of him as Green Lantern, and of course the taglines are the Oath, the Green Lantern Oath, which of course is, you know, in brightest day and blackest night, you know, no evil shall escape my sight, all that good nonsense shit. And of course some more images of the same basic thing. So does this mean that he's still trying to promote himself as Green Lantern, or is it that he's already accomplished the fact? I really don't know. Personally, there's nothing wrong with an actor trying to promote himself as a character that he wants to play. There's nothing wrong with that. Tons of actors have done that in the past, and I've already gave my piece on Tyrese Gibson basically playing Jon Stewart Green Lantern, and I'm going to elaborate on that. First off, Tyrese Gibson, I don't think he's a terrible actor. I think he's a pretty decent actor. Is he my definitive Jon Stewart, like, obvious choice? No, because the obvious choice would be the realistic obvious choice, which is Idris Elba as Green Lantern. But, of course, Idris Elba has his own shit. He's playing, Thor's bullshit, whatever character in Thor franchise. He's also trying to be like the new James Bond or whatever. I don't know. Idris Elba's doing his own thing, which is cool for him. But I really want him to be Green Lantern, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us in the fan community of DC comic books want him to be fucking Jon Stewart Green Lantern. No other character could be Jon Stewart Green Lantern unless Denzel Washington came by and was like, "Hey, I'll do it." Fuck yeah! But I doubt that's gonna happen. But nevertheless, Tyrese Gibson, is he a bad choice? No. But is he the first choice? No. So, at the end of the day, I don't really care if he got it, but he's not really my first choice as to whether or not, he should play it. Now, on top of all that, I also wanted to point out that, does it really matter whether or not we get one definitive Green Lantern? My idea was, like, kind of do what the Green Lantern movie did. Of course, better, of course. But on top of that, the great thing about the Green Lantern movie that came out a couple years back is that they introduced multiple characters from the Green Lantern Corps. Like, they introduced so many characters. And, of course, some people may have a problem with that. But when we have... Think about it in the terms of, like, DC Cinematic Universe. This is pre-DC Cinematic Universe. But in the actual DCU, you could do that. Fucking have multiple Lantern Corps. And not only the Green Lantern Corps, bring in the Blue Lantern Corps, the White Lantern Corps, the Black Lantern Corps. Bring all these motherfuckers. Bring all these motherfuckers. Bring them all. But why is Jon Stewart the only Green Lantern that has to be in the team? You could still have a Hal Jordan in the team. But, that's just my personal speculation, of course. I mean, based off all the teases and rumors we've been, getting from Green Lantern-type characters, multiple characters from Green Lantern Corps will be introduced, like Sinestro, obviously, and, so on and so forth. But, does there really need to be a definitive one Green Lantern? There's multiple Green Lanterns, so why can't we fucking have Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart in the same universe, hanging out and fucking joining the Justice League and kicking ass together or whatever? I could deal with that. That would be cool. You don't really need just one Green Lantern, because there's a whole fucking universe of Green Lanterns, so why not? But that's just my little tidbit on that. Let me know what you personally think in the comment section below. What do you think about about Jesse Eisenberg, the first ever image of him as Lex Luthor? Do you have more anticipation for the movie after seeing him being bald, like a lot of us speculated that he might not be? What are your personal thoughts on him as playing the character? On the flip side, do you think Tyrese Gibson is going to be Green Lantern? Do you think he locked the role and he's just teasing it a little bit more? Or do you think he didn't get the role and he's still trying to promote himself as Green Lantern? And if Tyrese Gibson does not get the job as Jon Stewart Green Lantern, out of all the actors out there, who do you want to fucking play Green Lantern? Other than Idris Elba, because obviously that's the obvious choice. So other than Idris Elba, who else in Hollywood do you think could pull off not only Jon Stewart, but just Green Lantern in general? Let me know in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed my little tidbit on all these things. Awesome. And, this has been John 12. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already, and I hope everybody enjoyed.